Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to set up WordPress from scratch on your local host so you can get a site up and running locally on your computer. This is helpful for development so that you can make your site how you want before you put it on your hosting server. Um, as a developer on my local host, I probably have over 100 sites locally that I can switch to at any time, edit, and then push my changes to the server. So the first thing you're going to need is you need to have a web server with PHP and MySQL up and running. I have a video that shows you how to create a LAMP server on Windows Subsystem for Linux if you want to do it that way. If you want to go for Windows, you'll want to have a WAMP server, which is Windows, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. You can download it as a package or install all the software separately. Um, so if you already have a web server, excuse me, let's go ahead and get started installing WordPress. The first thing you're going to want to do is go to wordpress.org, not .com, wordpress.org, click on Get WordPress, and click Download WordPress. It's going to download. After it downloads, you'll want to open your Downloads folder, and you'll see the zip file for WordPress right here. We're going to want to extract this zip file. You can do that on Windows by right-clicking and choosing Extract All and clicking Extract. It's going to extract WordPress into a regular folder. Um, WordPress is kind of big, so this does take a minute depending on how good your computer is. And when we're done, we're going to want to copy this. Well, I'll show you here in a second. Yep, just waiting for it to complete here. Okay, cool. Once it's done extracting, you'll have a regular folder called WordPress dash with its version. Go ahead and click into that, and you'll have a subfolder that just says WordPress. We're going to want to copy this folder. Right-click, copy. Then we're going to want to paste it in the root folder of our Apache installation or in the public HTML folder. On Windows, this would usually be something like C Apache 24 htdocs. I am running Windows Subsystem for Linux, so it's going to be in var www html. I have already pasted it here because it takes a while to copy across to Linux. But go ahead and paste that folder in your public HTML folder. Then if you want to rename this folder, you can. It doesn't have to be called WordPress. We'll go ahead and rename this. We're just going to call it My Site 1. You can have as many subfolders in here as you want. Like if you wanted to have 5 different WordPress installations or 5 different websites in here, you could do that. So we'll just call it My Site 1. And the next thing we're going to want to do is to set up a database for WordPress to use. I have phpmyadmin installed locally. It's a great way to manage your databases and MySQL visually. I recommend using phpmyadmin. If you were going to do it from the command line, you would go into MySQL and do create database. I can go ahead and show you how to do that quickly if you're going that route. So here we would type MySQL minus U and then our MySQL user minus P. It's going to ask for our password. And we're in MySQL. We would do create database. We'll call it My Site 1, semicolon, and then you press enter and say okay. I'm going to go ahead and do it through phpmyadmin. So exit MySQL here. Okay, so we'll go to phpmyadmin and over here click new. We're going to create a new database. We'll call it mysite1. And for the collation, you're going to want to choose UTF-8 MB4 General CI. This is for UTF-8 MB4 support, and it's case insensitive. Click Create. Okay, that's all we need to do. We have a database called mysite1. Now, if we were worried about security or doing this on a public-facing server, we would want to create a new database user that only has access to this database just to keep things separated, and to create a little more security and control. Since we're doing this locally, I'm just going to use our root MySQL login. So now that we have our database, we would visit our site in our local server and go ahead and install WordPress. So we would go http://localhost/mysite1. Let's see if that's what I named it. Yeah, mysite1. And we go there and we're presented with the WordPress installation screen. So go ahead, click your language you want to use. It's going to tell you that it needs your database username, password, host. Click Let's Go. Our database name is mysite1. That's what we just set up here in phpmyadmin. Like I said, we're going to use our root MySQL account. And just remember, I'm only doing that because it's local. If it were on a public server or somewhere accessible by other people and we're worried about security, we would create a new MySQL user just for this database. We'll enter our root MySQL password here. Our database host is localhost. Our table prefix is WP_. This will always be okay unless you're having multiple WordPress installations in the same database. If you were, you would want to change this, but since we're only going to have one in this database, we can keep it as WP_. Hit submit, click run the installation. And so since we clicked submit and it didn't give us any errors, that means that our MySQL information was correct. If you got errors here, it would mean that either your password was wrong or the database name was wrong or some kind of MySQL error. We're just going to call this site mysite1. Choose a username. This will be the username that you log into WordPress with. So I'll just choose Scott. We can have our password set here, and we'll put our email. Let's see, I'll just make up one, scott@scottsweb.dev. Since it's local, I always check this box. I don't think we'll have access to the internet, so search engines would never discover us anyways, but I always just check this box. Click Install WordPress. And that's it. We can now log into our backend here on WordPress. And we now have WordPress installed. We can visit our site by going to http://localhost mysite1. In a future video, I'll show you how to set up SSL so you can use HTTPS, and also how to set up Apache virtual hosts so that you can go to mysite1.local instead of having this localhost/subfolder install. But that was it. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions or any problems in the process, let me know in the comments below. I will get to it as soon as I see it. Thank you for watching, and hope you enjoyed my video.